Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be unboxing this awesome solo music gear Telecaster kit. This is the one with the spalted maple top. It's going to be beautiful. You may have noticed also I'm wearing a Solo Guitars shirt here because I managed to somehow con them into thinking that I know what I'm doing. So you may already know this, but we are working together to put together kind of a video assembly manual series full of tutorials for people who decide they want to buy their kits so they can see how to put them together. So let's get this guy unboxed and see what we're dealing with here. All right, let's dig in here. We got a beautifully wrapped kit, well protected, comes in a nice package. We've even got the tuning pegs there kind of in their own little holders. That's pretty nifty. If you decide you want one of these kits, don't forget to check out the Solo Music Gear link in the description. It's my affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps me out and I would appreciate it. Here we've got our separate box with all the hardware. Everything I need is in there, but make sure you check when you get yours, or if you get yours. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the neck here. It's individually wrapped, of course. I shouldn't say of course, because I've checked out a few kits from other companies where, well, the wrapping was pretty questionable. The neck is actually really smooth. Now, I'm not sure if they've put a sealer on this one. It doesn't appear that they have. I did suggest to them at one point that they stop doing that on everything except the spalted tops, so that people have the opportunity to stain them without having to worry about sanding through that. Spalted maple doesn't accept stain very well, keep that in mind, but luckily this is an ash burl that we can do some interesting stuff with. So we've got some strings there, which are terrible, so don't use those. And then we've got that cable that I'm assuming everybody just immediately throws out. I think I've got like a drawer of them somewhere. Bridge looks pretty standard. It's got the piece of cardboard protecting it so that it doesn't scratch up. And, you know, all of the usual stuff. We've got our output jack, our neck plate. Solo's neck plates come with a plastic backing that isn't attached to it, so you can use it optionally if you want, or get rid of it, your call. And then we've got all the hardware for mounting the tuning pegs, and finally, our switch plate. Now, the control plate on this one that they've given me isn't pre-wired except for one wire. The reason they've done that is they want me to go ahead and demonstrate how everything would go together if it came this way. Typically, the kits have them partially wired. Look at that beautiful ash burl. This is going to be a fantastic build, I think. The neck goes in relatively snug. There's a little bit of play there. That's fine. You just don't want it super sloppy. I mean, pretty much anything can be corrected with shimming or with a little bit of sanding if it's too tight. But ideally, you don't have to do that sort of thing. The control plate looks good here. I got to move the wires out of the way to get it in. Man, we are blasting through this. I'm having trouble keeping up. And I wrapped the wire around the pickup to kind of jam that bridge into place so we can see that everything fits together, that it's going to work with the pick guard. There's a little bit of gap there, but all looks pretty good to me. Looks like it's all going to fit. This is stuff that you check when you get the kit, and if it doesn't fit, you may need to make a modification or two. Now, I go in and screw in. These bridges are held down by 3 screws, this particular version, so I screw in one on each side just to keep it in place, make sure it's going to be nice and secure so that I can go ahead and check the alignment on everything. So every time that I get one of these kits, I partially install the bridge, and then I run a ruler like this from the nut slots to the corresponding bridge slots, or I install a couple tuning pegs and run a string down the length of the neck so that I can basically check the alignment of the neck, make sure that it's going to be able to line up properly without the strings going off the edge. And then, of course, you check your scale length. You want to make sure that you've got the same distance from the nut to the 12th fret and the 12th fret to the bridge. And here we have kind of a better look at what this thing is going to look like raw, but put together. The wood is fantastic. Look at that beautiful fretboard. I realize that these are natural products. It's wood, right? So not every kit's going to look the same, but I found that Solo does a pretty good job of selecting their wood, at least for the most part, on the parts that matter. So for example, here we've got this beautiful fretboard. We've got a really nice kind of burl top on this one that has some quilting to it as well. Honestly, at least in my experience, the veneers that I've seen on Solo's kits so far have been beautiful. I realize that might not be the exact same experience for everyone, but for me, that's how it's been. And this one is no exception. This thing looks awesome. It's got a nice black binding that'll accent well when we put on our natural finish on this one. The back looks just fine, pretty standard there. I even pulled out the macro tubes to give you guys a close-up look at exactly how figured this top is, because that is some pretty crazy looking wood, and that is going to look awesome with a transparent finish. We get a close-up of the fretboard as well here, which looks pretty nice. And a look at the frets themselves, which have a nice crown to them and are looking pretty good. All right, guys, there it is. Well, that is beautiful. I'm going to have to, of course, take off this pick guard. We're going to do a nice finish to it and everything. We'll do the assembly manual first with it as it is, but then afterward, I'm going to have to, I think, do a nice carve in the back here. You know, put the Brad touches on it and turn it into a complete disaster. So that will be awesome. I'm very excited for that. Don't forget to stay tuned, stick around, see what happens to this one. But also we've got some more unboxing videos coming out for some of the other kits that I'm working on with Solo. I think I've got 5 of them in total coming up here. So yeah, lots going on. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Remember to subscribe so you can see how this turns out and how all the other kits do. And I will see you next time. Thanks again. Have a good one.